essential to get young people to vote? To stay of age, yeah.
To write.
To vote.
To vote, sorry. This is why I need to. I just think having a vote is a really important way to kind of be involved in our democracy. And at the British Youth Council, we're a national youth organisation that does a lot on kind of getting young people involved in politics. So there's a lot of young people out there who can't actually vote at the moment because they're under 18. And so we think it's even more important for those who are aged 18 to 24 to really kind of make the most of their opportunity to have their say on issues affecting young people. And we think that the youth vote is just as important as other age groups. And quite often, young people can't vote and they don't have that kind of lobbying power in politicians. So sometimes their concerns can be perhaps sidelined. So we do a lot of work to make sure young people both feel confident and able to actually campaign on issues. We do work on making sure that they know, the importance of voting and how to register to vote, what to actually do at the ballot box as well. It can be a bit kind of bewildering if you've not voted or like the whole kind of registration process and stuff.
What strategy do you use, like in terms of persuading them to vote or getting them to vote? Do you use certain strategies?
Yeah, well, with the general election last year, we actually produced a youth-led manifesto. So we're a membership organisation. We're made up of loads of different youth organisations and local youth councils. So groups of young people who are kind of involved and elected to represent young people across the country. And they got together and they decided that they had 5 priorities of what issues they wanted the next generation of MPs to address in Parliament. So those involved the Vote 16, improving mental health services for young people, ending child poverty by 2020, and kind of other issues around public transport being too expensive for young people, and also around creating an equal national wage as well. So we did a kind of lot of work amongst our members. They kind of created this themselves. So we produced it, we kind of shared it online, and we wrote to every single PPC, prospective parliamentary candidate, basically people who are standing to be MPs, and shared it with them, got them to give their thoughts on it. And we also kind of encourage young people to use it to go to their candidates and be like, this is what I think is a priority, how are you going to address this if you get elected? And it worked really well, and we've got a lot of kind of young people using it. We also had a rally in Parliament, outside Parliament, around 200 young people, just to kind of show MPs that these young people created this themselves and they wanted it to be listened to. So it's a lot about involving young people and kind of connecting with those who they're voting for, basically, to see that they actually have a choice and their choice matters.
What made you passionate about politics? What made you get involved?
I kind of got involved with DSC because I think it's really important for people who are affected by decisions to actually have a say in them. So many decisions are made by people who perhaps haven't directly have something impact on their lives, and I just thought there were some issues where young people really need to sit around the table with decision makers and have a chat, whether that is around kind of what wage they get paid, how their taxes are spent, they're just as important as other people. And I think that's why I got involved, because I kind of felt that British Youth Council is quite like an established charity. It's been around since like 1948, and I really kind of wanted to work with them to carry on that kind of message about young people matter. So.
Have you seen a dramatic change since working for your organisation, Vote 16 Coalition?
I think it's been really interesting in the last couple of years working for British Youth Council. I think we've seen youth participation become more normal, more established amongst decision makers. So you have things like youth councils being listened to. You have organisations like Exposure, like promoting young people's views. And I think a lot has been done in the last few years to kind of solidify that. And even with this government, we've had youth summit with the Deputy Prime Minister in the last couple of months. We've met with the Children's Minister, Tim Lawton, so they are quite keen to have young people on the table. So I think that is kind of really good at the moment. And I think one of the problems with youth participation at the moment is that a lot of services for young people are having their funding cut. Like you were saying that Exposure's had some funding difficulties, and I think that perhaps is, that's threatening. That's the biggest threat to kind of youth participation at the moment, because a lot of services for young people are having to kind of close or reduce their functions. So young people perhaps don't have that opportunity to get involved now that they might have done a couple of years ago maybe. And I think it's really powerful that young people actually tell those people who are making decisions about funding how it's affecting them. And so I hope that we've been doing some work with an organisation, a coalition called Choose Youth, to really highlight that young people need to be heard on youth service cuts. You can't just cut services and not consult young people on it. So it's an interesting time, but I think it's really important to kind of use our history and use our evidence that actually we know that when young people are around the table and inputting on how a service is developed, whether that's something like Exposure or something completely different, like it might be a mental health service for young people. If those young people are asked during that development evaluation, is this working for you? How can we improve it? How can we save money? The answers that they give are going to be really valuable, and they'll make not only the service more effective, but also perhaps more value for money. And considering that's a big consideration, it's needed.
What future would you like to see getting young people involved in voting? What would your main goal be?
Well, I'd like to see Vote 16. I think, what you're saying, over the last couple of years, actually there has been a kind of change in thoughts around young people and voting. I mean, a couple of years when I first started working on the campaign, there was a debate in Parliament about lowering voting age, and a lot of MPs were like, oh, young people are too immature, they don't know enough, all those kind of negative arguments. But actually there was another debate in Parliament just before Christmas, and it was so much more positive. I think there was one MP which said that young people would rather play on their Xbox and vote. I was like, well, to be fair, quite a lot of adults probably would as well. But the rest were really positive. They were all like, actually, this is something we need to consider. But unfortunately, they didn't feel that it was the right time to change voting age, particularly with a lot of them felt it might interfere with the referendum on the voting system, and might kind of complicate matters more if young people were involved in that referendum. So it's being discussed at the very places where they can actually make a decision. MPs are the ones who will make the decision whether the voting age is lowered. So it's definitely kind of coming to a new point, and we recently relaunched our Vote 16 website as well, which has been great. We've kind of been able to collect our supporters together.